Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Are you afraid of heights? Do you get a sinking feeling in your stomach when you're up high and you look down? Most people aren't necessarily afraid of heights, just afraid of falling from them. Well, if you're a Christian, you're just going to have to get over that. Spiritually, anyway. If you don't, you're just not going to enjoy the ride to the top or the view when you get there. King David went through many trying times, but he always knew the Lord was right beside him and would protect him in any situation. In Psalm 27, he declares, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Though an army encamp around me, my heart will not fear. Though war arise against me, yet I will be confident." David saw the Lord as his stronghold, his place of safety. He could feel secure anywhere God led him because he knew God was with him. He didn't have to be afraid because he knew who God is and how powerful He is and how much the Lord loved him. Even before he was attacked, he could be confident. Why? Because he knew, just like every other time before, God would protect him, defend him. He lists a few ways that God would rescue him, ending with verse 5 of chapter 27. "He will lift me high on a rock, and my head will be lifted up above my enemies around me." When David was in the midst of a trial, a problem, or a battle, he knew the Lord could rescue him, swoop down on eagle's wings and pick him up and set him high on a rock. Psalm 40 verse 2 says, "He brought me up out of the pit of destruction, out of the miry clay, and He set my feet upon a rock, making my footsteps firm." We need the Lord to do that for us too. When we're in the midst of a crisis, we're not always thinking straight. All we can do is focus on ourselves and our problems. That's totally natural. I mean, after all, we are humans. We're bound by time and by our own body. We often just can't see beyond our circumstances. So we get bogged down with worry, anxiety, fear, and we tend to make decisions based only on what we can see and what our emotions are telling us. We tend to fight blindly because of this, or sometimes we just give up altogether because we feel overwhelmed and helpless. But David refused to even think that way. Instead, his plan was to look to the Lord for his rescue when this happened. And he would, as he had done many times before, pick David up and put him high on a rock. From this different perspective, he could see the problems he'd been facing from God's perspective. From there, that battle that seemed so impossible looked like it was almost won. That problem that he'd been so worried about had a reasonable solution. That crisis had a positive end. That fear was completely unsubstantial. And each thing had a reason, a purpose, to give God glory. All the difficulties could be taken care of by just trusting God and following Him. Being up there on that rock, spending time with the Lord, gives us a safe place to catch our breath before getting back in the battle with a new energy and determination that only He can give. I don't know what you're going through today. It might seem pretty bad, especially if you're right in the middle of it. But I encourage you to spend time with the Lord. God is in control. He has a purpose, a plan for whatever you're going through. And He's right beside you. Ask Him to pick you up and set you high on a rock. Don't be afraid to go soaring above with Him and see things from a different perspective. I'd love to hear about your adventure. You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. I'm Carla Early, and thanks for listening. And remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.